It's Friday, May 16th, and it's time for your weekly recap. Koru says, hey Chris, I've always thought that costuming is something to consider. In my case, I normally wear my normal clothes, but I've had the issue of my jeans pockets being too tight or heating up my decks, making them difficult to handle. What kind of casual attire do you recommend to fit this issue? Thank you very much. There are two main things that you want to consider when figuring out your costume. The first is that it fits your character. That's the most important thing. And then the second thing is functionality. You want to make sure that it's not ruining your props and that your props are easy to get to and stay organized. One thing that you see people like David Blaine and Criss Angel wear, which looks casual but allows you to carry more props without damaging them, would be cargo pants. So that's probably the best thing to consider in terms of a casual attire. Other magicians ignore the fact that they have to use their pockets and carry stuff around in like a backpack. So that's another option for you to keep things casual. You can wear whatever you want and then keep all your props in something that's easy to take it out of and work with. Matthew, I don't know how to practice. What is the process you go through when practicing magic? Thank you. This is a really good question, and it's different based on different tricks, but I'll kind of go through sort of the standard for myself. Usually I'll do sort of an overview of like what the trick is and try to do the trick that way. And then I will dissect the trick into the smallest parts that I can and practice the move necessary to accomplish the effect. So if it's something with 4 cards, I will eliminate like 2 of the cards and figure out what those other 2 cards need to do, where my hand positioning needs to be and everything to make the trick work. And then I'll add more elements in as I go and make sure that I get each step of the way. So it's like you're building a foundation of skill, and you need to have that foundation before you put the next layer on. If you start trying to build the whole thing all at once, it's just gonna topple down on you. Another thing I'll do is try and make the trick more difficult for myself. So if I'm doing something that requires the entire deck, I'll add more cards to the deck, making the deck bulkier and harder to handle. By practicing the sleight in that way, when I remove those cards and go back to a regular deck, that seems easier to manage. Another example that has nothing to do with cards would be with coins. If I was practicing certain moves, I would try and hide a coin in my hand and make it so that it doesn't make any sound as I perform the sleight with another coin. Things like that, if you look at it and analyze it before you start practicing, it can really help you and give you these exercises to really hone in on your skills. Steven's Magic, hey Chris, when doing street magic, is it important to dress cool like Criss Angel? Big smiley face. I actually think that Criss Angel does a really good job matching his costume to his character, and that's the most important thing. It's not the scenario that you're performing in so much as it is the costume matching you as a person. For me, when I do street magic, I'm usually dressed up in a very similar costume to what I would wear in a formal setting, because that fits my character better. It helps convey who I am to the audience just by looking at me. And that's really the lines you want to think along when you're choosing your costume. This week we tried something a little different with YouTube. We actually made a playlist. There's a link to it right down here. And by watching that, it's going to show you some of our favorite tricks to do in a talent show setting. We get that question a lot, and so we thought we'd make a playlist. We're also planning on making other playlists down the line to answer other questions and feature other videos. So if you have questions you want to see a playlist with, write down in the comment section playlist ... and then what you want to see as a playlist, like favorite magicians, favorite card tricks, favorite whatever. So just write that down in the comment section down below, and we might use it for our next playlist. Adam Grange, the illusionist, hey Chris, can you wear a toppet on a jacket, the one by Jeff Kaler? A traditional toppet is used in a jacket. So Jeff Kaler's version of the toppet was designed so that you won't have to wear a jacket, but it's not built to be put into a jacket. So if you want a toppet for a jacket, just get a classic toppet. Marshall Magic 888, hey Chris, quick question about Arson by Alex Pandrea. Can I use a Zippo lighter? You can use a Zippo lighter, and the effect will play the exact same way all the way up to the point where the card gets revealed on the lighter. At that point, you can do it. It is possible using the supplies that they give you. However, I feel like it's kind of cheesy to have it on your lighter at that point. So if you're gonna do the Zippo thing, I think do the Zippo thing and skip the last phase of the trick. Dan asks, what can you wear for a kid's show that's appropriate but doesn't make you look like a clown? Well, first off, no face makeup and red nose. just get rid of those right out of the gate. When I do kids show magic, I dress the exact same way I do when I'm doing adult corporate events. The reason being is it fits my character and it sets me apart and it makes me look professional. And I feel like kids respond to professionalism almost the same way, if not better, than they would if you were wearing some kind of loud, wacky outfit. They realize what you are. You're a magician. This is your job, and you're gonna do something interesting. You're not dressed the same way everybody else at the party is. You're dressed in a magician's outfit. Gavin, hey Chris, I want my magic costume to be original, but not taking all my time to think about it. What are some tips to be original with your clothes? It's okay to take some time to think about this. This is an important decision in your magic, and it's something that you're gonna develop over time. It does take time to come up with the costume. The costume I wear now is different than the costume that I wore 5 years ago. That's because I'm constantly changing things, making additions, taking things away, and making it more in line with my character. So I don't think you should be afraid of taking time. I think you should make some choices, go with it, see what works, see what doesn't, and then make adjustments as you go. It's not gonna be perfect the first time. This week I wanted to talk to you about E2. This is a cool gimmick. If you are into gimmicks, especially card trick gimmicks, this is fantastic. Essentially, you can have a spectator put a card anywhere inside of a deck of cards while it's in the box, and you're able to tell them what the card is. If they sign the card, you can pull the card out of like an envelope or a wallet or some other location. You can have the card end up in their pocket. There is so much great material on the 2 DVDs that are included with this, and the gimmick itself is awesome. Like, I was just having fun just making it work. It is so cool. I highly recommend you go to magicgeek.com right now and check out E2, and it is by Alakazam Magic. Zach, hey Chris, what's the best thing to wear during a rope routine so no one thinks you use your sleeves, but you still can look nice, such as a bow tie? Thanks, winky smiley face. There's a tip that Darwin Ortiz gives in his book, Stronger Magic, that I think is great for all magic, and it's roll up your sleeves. So no matter what outfit you're wearing, you roll up your sleeves, and I actually think that psychologically, having a long sleeve shirt that's rolled up is almost better than having a short sleeve shirt on. And the reason being is it makes them think about that. It makes the audience think, wow, his sleeves are rolled up, as opposed to not thinking about it just because you're wearing a shirt that has no sleeves. Logan Magic 98, who's your favorite magician? I like Kaylin Morelli. What do you think of Kaylin? I think Kaylin's great. I also like Justin Flom. I think those are 2 of my favorite like YouTube magicians. I also really like people like Rob Zabrecki, John Carney, John Armstrong, people that have really strong characters. I'm a big fan of magicians using character to tell their story. And then, you know, of course, I like David Blaine and David Copperfield. Those guys are fantastic as well. Penn and Teller, lots of magicians. I like them all. They're all great. Henry from Facebook, do you think dressing up on a tuxedo or vest is too magician-y and I should try to do something different? Thanks, Chris. I always think you should try something different to shake things up, see what works and what doesn't. You're never gonna know unless you try and take a step and do something. It really depends. If you're doing sort of an edgy street magic style character and you're in a full tuxedo, it's not gonna work. But if you are doing more of a classic magician thing and that's part of your shtick, then yeah, totally. Wear the tuxedo, wear the tails, wear the gloves and the little mustache. This week we're giving away the N3 coin set. This is actually the one that we used in the demo, so it's gonna be open. The seal is broken on that, so you know, but it's a free trick and it's awesome. This is a very, very cool gimmick which will allow you to visually, in front of your spectator while they're watching your fingers, at the fingertips, change one coin into another. It is brilliant, beautiful coin magic, and it is the N3 coin set. The way you're gonna win this is by going to magicgeek.com, putting in the coupon code N2G, you'll see it written down there, and that's gonna get you 5% off, and your name will go into the running to win the N3 coin set, which has been touched by me, obviously, because I used it in the demo. And you can check out the demo by clicking right here and see it in action. This is the N3 coin set N2G is the coupon code that you want to put into Magic Geek to get yourself 5% off and your name into the running for this. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Next week, I actually want to talk about beginner magic. So if you've never done any magic before, don't be afraid to ask a question. Or if you've been doing magic for a long time, you have a recommendation on a trick for a beginner, or if you just have a regular old question, go ahead and put them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to Magic Geek. We do this video every Friday. We have one of these videos. We also have new demos coming out all the time, new product reviews, and also some other silly videos. Go ahead and hit subscribe to check all of that out, and I will see you next week.